Guys had a wonderful Merry Christmas. Stay safe, wear your mask. We're still in this thing fighting. All right, so we're gonna talk about life insurance. I want to tell you all first and foremost, make sure you add Sheila Bustamante's story to your arsenal. Okay, her story sends chills through my body every time I hear it, because when we were in the office, she would oftentimes have, when top turnout, mute your phones or your devices, your laptops or your desktops, please. She would tell the story about her brother-in-law, right? And how they would take care of him and he was insured. So that is the story that you want to add to your arsenal, right? And oftentimes what we do is we say, we don't want to talk to our family and friends. That is double dumb. And I can say that because I thought like that. Just being ignorant, I really didn't understand what we were doing. I had just come into Primerica for the money, for the bread, right? I wanted a fact bank account. I wanted to make money. But once I started to understand, oh, wait a second, this is a necessity, not a want. This is so important that you get in front of all your family and friends. I don't care if they say no. No means not right now. You continue to follow up with them, even if you have to spread it out, right? I often tell the story about my aunt who got remarried and her husband was a sheriff. He was a sheriff for 32, 34 years, something of that nature. But I knew he had a daughter from a previous marriage and he only had group insurance. And my aunt, she's a client. However, when she got married, her husband didn't want to be added on as a spouse rider. So I would consistently follow up with them. He retired from his job. He could not take the insurance with him, right? And if he did, it was unaffordable. It was ridiculously pricey. So he didn't want to do it. So what does that mean? He had no coverage at all. So I would follow up with him. You need to sit with me, right? You need insurance. He became a client finally after chasing him for about a year, right? He was a client for 4 months. He passed away, blood clot in his leg, shot to his heart, killed him. DOA, dead on arrival, in front of my aunt, right? He collapsed on the bed. She thought he was playing. They're jokesters. They joke a lot, right? She thought he was playing. He was dead. She called me crying. Thank you, Nisi Poo. That's what she calls me. Thank you, Nisi Poo. You followed up with me. And she said, you used to make me mad. You followed up with me so much. You got on my nerves. This is her crying. But she said, thank God you did. Don't stop what you're doing. Excuse me. Don't stop what you're doing. Thank God you did. So if you have not spoken to your family and friends, Gabby, Ramon, top-notch teammates, you got to continue to reach out to them. It doesn't matter what they say. No means not right now. And this is what people tend to do. They wait until someone gets the virus. They wait until someone has high blood pressure. They wait until someone gets diagnosed with cancer, right? Then and only then do they want to get insurance. No, 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 no. You have to be consistent. You have to be persistent in following up with these people and getting them to understand why you need to sit down with me and telling these stories. It's not just going through the presentation, you all. It's telling these stories, right? Because it hits home. It hits home when they hear these stories. We are in a pandemic, right? People are dying. T's uncle just passed away last week. His uncle died first from the virus, and then the wife died 3 days later from the virus. Are you kidding me? In Georgia, people are dying. Do you understand that? Right? So you have got to make it a priority, teammates, to get in front of your family and friends. These are people we care about. I tell people, if you had the cure for cancer and you knew my mother had cancer and I'm your friend or your family member, would you tell me? Right? Shake your head if you tell me. Give me thumbs up. Give me some type of yes that you would tell me, right? So why do we not want to get in front of people when we have the cure to transfer wealth, right? To help them have enough money saved in the event that they live too long, because we do that as well, right? I look at my father who's 80, 81 years old. He doesn't have a lot of money saved. He's on Social Security, right? We don't want that. All right. So make sure you get in front of everybody you are. It's extremely important. Even if they don't become your client, you've at least gotten the information to them. Right. And I tell this story all the time about my son. He's getting ready to go to college in less than 30 days. The foundation is laid. We've already instilled in him everything that we can. Right now, He's a big boy. He's a young man. He has to go out and make his own decisions, right? We pray for discernment. We've already given it to him. It's the same thing with these families we sit down with. Once we give them the information, what they do with it is on them, but at least we've done our part. At least T and Shay have done their part as parents. Here, son, this is what it is. First and foremost, we put the fear of Jesus Christ in them. First and foremost, have a relationship with Jesus. Okay, that's number one. And then everything else follows. What he does with that is on him. First and foremost, life insurance is the foundation of any financial plan, any. We've laid it out. We've told them what they do with it is on them. All right. So let's talk about the 5 mistakes of life insurance. All right. So treating life insurance as a luxury, not a necessity. Treating life insurance as a luxury, not a necessity. Relying on group, cash value, biggest ripoff ever. Buying term insurance from a cash value company and not having enough. These are the 5 mistakes of life insurance that you teammates have got to learn how to absolutely destroy, right? Sheila Bustamante knew how to destroy that IUL when she went and sat with her brother-in-law and his wife. She knew exactly what to say. She knew exactly how to break that policy down. And she knew exactly what to do, right, to replace that policy. So these are the 5 mistakes that you all have got to learn how to destroy. I mean, as soon as they say, I only have group, as soon as they say, I have whole life, as soon as they say, I have term through this company, right? Not having enough. You got to learn how to master the dime, right? How to understand how much coverage they need in the event that they die of an untimely death, die prematurely, right? You got to learn how to do that. Treating life insurance as a luxury, not a necessity. Relying on group, cash value, biggest ripoff ever. Buying term from a cash value company and not having enough. All right, let's talk about it. All right, this is important. All right, so treating life insurance as a luxury, not a necessity. Life insurance is the easiest way to transfer wealth to our survivors. Treating it as a necessity is extremely important. Life insurance acts as our income when we pass away. That's a typo. Treating life insurance like any other insurance is important. Car insurance brings back your car. Home insurance brings back your home. Health insurance acts as a benefit when you are ill. Life insurance does not bring your life back, right? It continues your income. Big, big, big. Why? Because everybody has all the other insurances, but not life insurance, right? I have cell phone insurance on my iPhone. I crack a screen. I better have it on my kid's phone because my son, I didn't have to take that phone God knows how many times over the last couple of years, right? Got cell phone insurance. And people don't have life insurance. Right? They have to treat it as a necessity, not as a luxury. So what do we have to do? We have to get them to understand that why it's a necessity. If you have survivors, you have young children, not older children, young children that depend on your income, right? You're like an ATM machine. T and Shay are an ATM machine to Jada and Ty, right? 100%, hands down. Whatever they need, especially my daughter, she bougie as I don't know what. I mean, bougie as can come. Woo! We got to make money. We are the ATM machine. Jada want to get her hair done. Jada want to get her nails done. Jada want to do this. Jada want to do that. Jada wants to be in cheerleading. Jada wants a new phone. Jada wants the AirPods, right? Ty wants the Jordans. Ty with ATM machine. The roof over their head. Let's talk about the bare necessities. Let's not even talk about the wants, right? God forbid something happened to T and Shay, right? My family loves them, but can they take care of them? Absolutely not. They cannot. They cannot financially take care. They'll love on them. They'll love them to death. But financially, they're not able to take care of Ty and Jada. So we have to make sure that we have enough insurance to make sure that our income continues to come in the event that something happens to us. Life insurance acts as our income when we pass away. Big, right? Because every month, Ty and Jada need specific things every month, right? These things have to continue to come in because if not, what happens? I talk about this in the Black community. I can talk about what I am, right? If parents pass away and that son wants to do something, he needs to make money. He want to take a girl out. He wants some new shoes or he wants some new jeans or he just wants to play football or basketball. But the people who are taking care of him do not have the money. What do? Well, first and foremost, they link up with somebody that's bad because they want to make money. Now they start slanging drugs, marijuana, cocaine, whatever it is, right? We know these stories. This happens in the inner city. Now they found a way to make money. Now they have a new family because mommy or daddy passed away. Mommy or daddy can't take care of them. Let's talk about the little girl. Right now she's chasing, bad boys because she wants them to cater to her and spend money. But guess what? Something happened to T and Shay. Jada not doing that because we got enough money. We have enough life insurance. God forbid something happened, there are options. Guess what? Ty won't be doing that. They will have options. They have family members that love them. They have family members that will have enough insurance that will continue to come in any event something happens. Their college will be paid for, right? All the necessities and their wants will be taken care of. We created generational wealth through life insurance. We're transferring wealth through life insurance, right? Easiest way, you all. We will never pay the amount that we're investing every month for our insurance over the death claim of that policy. Never. Over time, we won't even pay it. It is a huge investment. That is the foundation. Treating life insurance like any other insurance is important. We just talked about this, right? Everybody has all these other insurances, but not life insurance, right? So for us, we have to make sure that we're teaching people, we're educating them why this is so important. Why we have to make sure, because it's not a matter of if we die, it's when we die. We're all going to go. We're all going to go. We just don't know when. So that's important. Treating life insurance like it's a necessity, right? Not a luxury. Very, very important. All right, let's go to the next one. Group insurance, right? When you sit down with families and you could tell the confidence that they have in their group insurance because they believe so much in their job. That was me as well. So I could talk about that, right? You couldn't tell me anything about my federal government job. You couldn't tell me anything. I was making good money. So I thought broke as I don't know what, like Lisa Jones said, got paid on Friday, was broke by Monday, but I didn't look like it, right? I stayed sharp, but people depend on their group insurance. They believe in it. So you got to know how to destroy that thing. You got to learn how to destroy. If you were to get a better job, better pay, better benefits, better schedule, would you take it? Most people will take it, right? What would happen to your group insurance? It's not portable. It's not reliable. You don't own it. You don't own it, right? Daniel Alonso, who's a huge $1 million earner out of California, he posted a life insurance post the other day. It said, the husband had $1 million life insurance policy through the job. He got diagnosed with cancer, so he had to go off the job. Now he has no insurance. Now he's uninsurable. You don't own it. You can't take it with you. If something happens, you can't take it with you. It can be amended. Actively at work requirement, termination. Can you see why it's so risky to solely rely on group insurance, right? So let's talk about this, the actively at work clause that's in that policy, right? So we're in a pandemic, okay? So if you come in contact with someone who has the virus, 1, you have to go get tested. 2, you have to quarantine for 14, 21 days. So now you're not actively working. So guess what? Your policy may not be enforced. Who would want to take that chance of not knowing? Because you don't know how your body's going to react to that virus. Do some people survive it? Absolutely. But a lot of people have died. We don't want to take that chance. And here's the other thing. Even if you did want to get private insurance now, you have to wait. On our applications, you got to wait 60 to 90 days now. And who's to say you're going to come out of that okay? Right? We don't want that. The amended clause that's in the group certificate that we show out of the state of Maryland, they can amend it. They can change it. They can switch it up without you knowing. I have a problem with that. If I'm investing in something for my survivors in the event that I pass away and you control it and not me, I don't want that. I want to be in control of what I want to do for my children if I pass away early. That's important, right? So it is very risky. So we tell them to never, ever, 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 ever solely only depend on group insurance. We have several stories about this, right? One of our agents, Ramon, this is one of the stories that we talk about. We sat down with his mom's friend's son, right? The mom was diagnosed with breast cancer. She was a registered nurse for 41 years for GW Hospital, 41 years, you all. That is older than most of you on here, 2 times, 41 years. She's getting treatment. She calls to check on the group insurance with her son. It's terminated. She wasn't even aware that it was terminated. So the question in our minds was, well, how did it get terminated? Well, one, she wasn't actively working. That could have been it. And two, they said the premium, right? They didn't get the premium for the group insurance. Well, how are they gonna get it if she's not actively working? They terminated it. Now she's uninsurable. Now she can't get that $250,000 that she would have gotten if she was on the job. That's why it's important to privatize. That's why it's important to learn these stories, you all. Because when you're sitting down with families, you have to get them thinking. You have to plant those seeds. You have to lay out the foundation. And that's why it's important to learn how to destroy the 5 mistakes of life insurance. You play that video. That video touches everyone, right? Special needs son, $250,000. He went to check on his group insurance. They told him he was good. That's wrong. They should have automatically paid that out just for the simple fact of them telling them that he was good. They should have paid it out just like that. Right? So you got to learn how to destroy group insurance. Can you see why we do not include group insurance in our analysis? Group insurance is one of the biggest fakes ever. Because when you sit down with families, I mean, oh, my certificate doesn't work like that. Did you read it? Do you know what it says? They don't know. And this is how you know they don't know, right? Because after they say that, they say, I want to check and see what my group certificate says. So Mr. and Mrs. Client, wouldn't it make sense to at least apply to see if we can get you some private coverage while you're checking your group certificate so you can be conditionally covered? Doesn't that make sense? We're just applying. Run the process close. We don't even know if we can get you approved. It's just like a loan. Just because you want it doesn't mean you get approved for it. We're just applying to see. Right? So you got to learn how to destroy that one, y'all. Group insurance it's a lot of people in the DMV that solely depend on group insurance. All right. Cash value, the biggest ripoff ever. I had a cash value policy. You couldn't tell me anything. I had a whole life through Liberty Mutual. I remember when Shaq came and sat with T and myself, and I pulled out that policy like it was just gold. Right? I was like, oh, I got it. I had a whole life on myself. I had a whole life on Ty, a Gerber life. You guys saw the Gerber life Shaq posted on the thread. If you haven't, I encourage you to go back and look at that ridiculous policy. It's sickening, right? And we had nothing on Ty. Shaq said, your son is an income taker. Your husband is an income maker. Why do you not have insurance on him, but you have it on your son? Just ignorant, y'all. Just absolutely ignorant when it came to insurance. And I busted through policies out like, boom, boom, I got insurance. I'm responsible. Didn't know nothing about it. This is 80, 85, 90% of the people we sit down with. They know nothing about their policies, but they're confident because they do have something. They do feel responsible. But the even more responsible people want to learn exactly what it is that they have. You get a lower rate of return on your money, right? I remember Shaq breaking down the cash value within that policy. But the issue was I didn't have any discipline with saving money. So the fact that I had something versus nothing, I got excited. But then when he showed me how much more money I can have and how I can put it underneath my mattress and have more money than that stupid policy, okay, now I'm upset. Because now, Mr. Agent, you've ripped me off. And I have a problem with that. Because I'm already broke, right? And I already don't have the discipline to save money. So you've over premiumed me, and now I'm underinsured. I had $250,000. My premium was $200 a month, you all. At the time, we was making $70,000, $80,000 a year. So do the calculation. Had something happened to me, that would have only lasted my family 3 years max. And our children were under 10 at the time. Big problem. Big problem. You must borrow your own money. So imagine this, right? You build up the cash value. You have an emergency. You need to go pull out that cash value and you got to borrow it with the interest rate. That's like you going to your bank account right now. You got a few thousand sitting in there. You want to go and you want to pull out some money. They say, hold up, you got to borrow that. Yeah, I know it belongs to you. I know that's your hard working money, but you have to borrow it with the interest rate. Are you kidding me? That's double dumb. That's my bread. Why do I have to borrow my own bread? That doesn't even make any sense. I work hard for that money. So I got to borrow it from you? That's whole life. When you pass away, your family will not get the money. They keep it. We've experienced this with my uncle and my grandmother. They kept it. They kept it. And it's crazy because my uncle had a New York life insurance policy, and my aunt used to be an agent for New York Life. So I would go back and forth with her. So I said, okay, Auntie, let's call the company. This is why you got to learn what to do and what to say and what questions to ask. Let's call the company, Auntie, let's go. Call the company, ask the questions. So what happens with the cash value? Kept it. They kept it. Right? So I didn't say it, they said it. Now they believe it. Then Auntie want to make up all these excuses. No. They kept Uncle Greg's bread. That's a problem. They kept it. Let's not make it seem like it's okay, because it's not. Right? They keep it. The whole life presentation, the mass mutual policy that's in the presentation, you got to destroy that. You got to show them how to buy term and invest the difference, right? Because that policy is a great example how you're over premiumed, right? It's $90.48 for 100,000 on a 29-year-old, right? And I often ask them, do you think that's a lot for a 29-year-old? Some people say yes, some people say no. But then when we go over that term policy, they see the difference, right? So make sure when you go over that whole life presentation that you're breaking that down and you spend time on that so they can understand. Because if they have a whole life policy, now you're educating them on how their policy works. Once you've seen one, you've seen them all. Once you can break down one, you can break down them all. So you want to you want to throw every punch with murderous intent when you're breaking down that whole life policy, because you want it to seep in. You want them to be like, you know what? I need to get my policy. I need to send it to you so we can go over it. Because the responsible families, you all, they want to make sure they understand what's happening with their policy, because when they pass away, not if, when they pass away, they should want to make sure that their survivors know what's going to happen. And they can pass away peacefully knowing that their survivors are okay, that they're good. All right. Life